Hey guys, so this is a great episode this week. My friend Lisa is back. You may remember her from a few episodes ago. She is the landscaper who landscape designed our new house, and we've become friends. So she's recently divorced, and I asked her to come and talk about divorce. Now, I say this in the beginning of the podcast, but no interest in mudslinging, no interest in he did this, he did that. I just wanted to hear about her process respectfully of what happened for her during this divorce and how she recovered and how she coped and some amazing things that are happening for her in her life now. So I'm so proud of her because of who she is today, which is the person I know. I did not know her as married Lisa, only as divorced Lisa, and she's just fantastic. So as I always say, I love it when people share their experiences so that we can not feel so alone, because so many people go through things, just particularly like divorces. So I hope you enjoy or learn from this conversation I have with Lisa. Please share it with anyone you think may need or be interested in this conversation. And thank you so much for coming back every week. Thanks for sharing my podcast. Thanks for your comments, your emails. I welcome them all. And enjoy my conversation with Lisa. That's awesome.
Oh, I love this book.
You did?
Oh, yeah,
You do?
Of course. We grew up with that book.
Totally.
Of course. Okay, how am I?
We just book clubbed that book. Did we book club it? Or it was it an official book club? I think it was.
You don't even remember?
Well, I know I didn't because we were going to book club. Well, we did book club a romance novel, but
Do you see this in the couch?
it doesn't matter. But we started talking about this book like this is how I learned about sex. Remember to pull the mic up to your real close to your mouth.
Did. Something about.
Be careful. That's mine from like 6th grade. It is falling apart. It's barely hanging on.
You should tape it.
It just fell apart because I just reread it.
You should just.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, everybody our age read that book, right?
It's literally apart.
Yeah. Oh, you should see. Here's this. You want to see something funny?
Do you have notes? Do you have Leanne loves so-and-so in there?
This is my little name in the 7th grade. I wrote my name in my book 4 times. So just in case. That's my little
Just in case someone should rip the cover off.
You never know.
Just in case someone rips the cover off.
As long as I get it back. So we had a great episode about it. Reading it again at this age in this era was really interesting.
I think I'm going to read it again.
You should, because I read it in like a day, day and a half. And
that's about my reading speed, by the way.
Right.
And if you hand me a book like that fat, I'm not. I can't. I just.
You don't have time.
I've been trying to audiobook.
Oh, they're the best.
Well, because like I'm driving in the car, I have an hour. Now I'm in the car for an hour and a half.
Yep.
Or I will never get to read. And I open the book at night, I read 2 pages and go, that's it.
Totally.
So I'm very happy now to find this audiobook.
I know. Audible. Do you do Audible?
Audible.
It's the best. I love Audible.
Educated, I just finished.
Oh, great book. We podcasted, we book clubbed that book. Great book.
It was my first reading accomplishment in a long time. I hadn't started and finished something in
years, probably, because you've been working you've been building a business.
Yeah.
What did you think about that book?
It was good. Weird, but good. You know.
Can you believe she grew up like that?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, I can relate to her upbringing. Not the weirdness with the parents being super religious, but like just working in a freaking wood pile with no gloves.
Yeah.
No shoes, no gloves. Yeah, that I relate to.
Yeah, like the safety for the kids, the lack of
awareness, the lack of concern. Somebody dies and they pour essential oils on them. Practically,
I like the mom character, and I think she was a little not rebellious, but she sort of just went like silently, okay, whatever, and then did whatever she had to do.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, tell me about your Porsche.
So, my Porsche is my. I'm not going to say new favorite thing, probably favorite thing.
Uh-huh.
It was hard earned, long time coming. I dreamt it. I wrote a little post-it and posted it up and just said, I'm going to have that. One day I'm going to work towards that. And I looked and I found one. And then a client of mine is a Porsche restorer. And he said, no, you don't want that one. And then he found one. Then I found whatever, went back and forth. And obviously there was a budget. There was an actual real number. He kind of didn't want to believe there was like a real number, but there's actually a real number.
Right.
And I don't think that buying the Porsche or receiving it the day I got it was the best part. The best part was when I was going to transfer the money thinking, is it actually buying the Porsche or is it just the exercise of being able to save your money and being able to do it?
What was the most rewarding? Is that what you mean?
It was so rewarding to be like, and I was like, do I need it? I was like, yeah, buy it. 'Cause I already did it. But I almost didn't do it because I felt like that was the challenge. The challenge was to see if I could do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I did it. And it was when I transferred that money, I was like, damn, because it was good.
That's amazing. How long did it take you to save the money?
4 years.
Okay.
Doing 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my truck.
Yep.
And that was another whole savings originally. And that's my only car.
Mm-hmm.
So when it went time to say like, okay, I think I need a second car.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, what am I going to get? I'm going to get a mom car? No. Who goes in my mom car anymore? Nobody. They all have their own car now.
Just mom.
Yeah, the kids all have their own car now.
Right?
And then I was thinking about the dogs. I was like, no, they can go in the truck. And I said, okay, let's buy something really for me.
Yeah.
And every single weekend I go out in that car and I drive, I race, and not race, but drive with little packs of other Porsche drivers. And
as we say in the South, you open her up.
Exactly. That's what I say. That's funny. And I just go places. So the goal was for this car, to save up for this car that I really wanted and then go places.
And want to drive it. Right.
Yeah. So I want to go places. Yeah. So I do.
That's so great.
It was pretty hard earned, but pretty great. I mean, I literally am in love with it.
Yeah.
I wipe it down with a little rag.
You do?
Yeah. My friend was in it the other day and there was like fingerprints and I wipe it.
Gee, are you a Virgo?
I wonder. And now I just built it its own parking space in front of my house.
That's amazing.
I did.
Do you have a cover for it?
Of course.
Yeah, stupid question.
I'm on my second cover already. The first one was kind of sticking to it and I didn't like that. So I got this 5-ply fuzzy inside. Yes, it gets covered everywhere it gets parked. And so I built in front of my house a little parking space so my driveway's clear. I don't want to be like, oh, I had to move my Porsche so many times. But one day I moved it 6 times.
Oh my God.
Because I had to pull tools out, put the truck back, load something, come out, come in. Because I have just a straight driveway that goes straight back. Right. But then you go behind the gate and that's where all the tools are.
Right.
So I was like, okay, this is not wasn't the dream.
No.
And then if I put it in the back, I feel like it's right where the tools are.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just sort of like, so I built it its own little reserved parking space off to the side and it lives there covered. Last week I didn't even touch it. I put it on Sunday. I didn't touch it until the next Sunday.
Wow.
And I was just in and out and it was good.
That's awesome. Well, for people who don't remember, Lisa's a landscaper.
Yes.
Landscape designer. Yes. And that's hence the tools, the truck. Not that a woman doesn't have tools and truck, but typically,
yes,
women don't talk about tools and trucks.
No, yeah. And we really load and unload and bags of cement and ladders and all kinds of crazy.
You guys work your asses off for reals.
We do. Happily, very happily. Super happily.
So I wanted to talk to you today about divorce. So let me preface before we have this conversation, my intention and what I want to learn. So, first of all, I don't care anything about any details or mudslinging or he said, she said. I don't need that. Thing. I'm interested in what happened for you in the process of discovering this isn't going to work, saying this isn't going to work, how you managed your forward motion, and what that disassembled or reassembled. I'm not really interested in the drama because I don't like trash talk, shit talk, gossip. Not that you'd be gossiping. I think that's too personal and it's not my business.
It is also my daughter's father. So absolutely. I'm not really, you know what I mean?
I'm not interested in that either.
Yeah, that's not.
I'm interested in what happens for a person when something as important as a marriage ends. What do they do with themselves in that moment? Does that make sense? And the moments to follow. Because I did an episode about divorce when I first started my podcast. And I thought we had an amazing conversation. I had 2 women. One was 6 months divorced, and one that was 2 years divorced. And I had the same preface. I don't want to know anything about he cheated, he lied, he stole. I don't care about that. I want to know what it did to you. And I thought we stayed really on that lane. And it was very upsetting for an ex-husband, even though we stayed very much in that lane. So I ended up pulling it. But I thought the information from that about the process for, because they're both women and you're a woman, for a woman or a person is so helpful for other people who are going through that process or have been through it to kind of.
So I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, let me try to.
And let me also say, anything that you don't want in here, if you say it and you say, hey, take that out, I will take it out. I don't want anything. So feel free to speak freely. And if there's anything that you don't want in there, I'll even let you listen to the whole episode first.
Okay.
Then you can say, take this out, because I want you to be comfortable with what you share. And I appreciate your willingness to share because divorce is hard. I've had 7 of them between my 2 parents.
I thought you were saying I've had 7 of them. I was like, what?
I've never been divorced because I was like, I'm never getting married because I'm not doing any of that. And then, of course, I got married and I'm never getting divorced. But, so did you have a single, because this is the way divorce worked in my house. My mom, if someone disagreed with her, she divorced. First argument, she was out.
Wow.
Boom. Her longest marriage besides my dad was 1.5 years. The shortest was 5 months because she was like, oh, we're arguing? Bye-bye, divorce. So I don't really have any personal concept of what an actual, like,
seeing it through, working out your fight.
Exactly. And how did you, did you have an inkling? What was it feel like when you had that inkling, you know?
Okay, so he was my boyfriend in high school.
Okay.
And we were together for like 4 years. College and age, I was a little younger, sort of just separated us. Not even anything bad. You know, he was, I'm not saying partying like him, but, you know, partying of his age, whatever. And
appropriate.
I was just on a different, you know, whatever. I can't really say it was anything like, there was no cheat. It just sort of was a, you know, whatever. And then years went past and we found each other again and we got back together. And it was like sort of I don't know if it was like a novelty, like, oh my God, because you loved him. Like, can you imagine your high school, right?
Yeah, I get it.
And so then I would start to find out little things. Like, and I was like, well, I didn't know that. And I was thinking like, how did I not know that? Because you think you know someone for all those years.
Yeah.
Okay, this and that, things, just things, I'll say that. And then we had Liza and we had Eva, and we were together for 20 years.
Yeah.
And this coming August it'll be 5 years since we separated.
Got it.
My parents had passed away in 2014, 2 months apart. We remodeled their house and moved into it, which he and I did together, which was awesome. And then we started to work together and build this business. We did a couple projects together, which was also awesome. It wasn't without its issues, of course.
Sure.
Every relationship, girlfriends, boyfriends, dads, moms, kids, everyone's got something. Something started to get harder, not great. Money was an issue. I didn't understand why.
Mm-hmm.
Because when people are telling you one thing,
Mm-hmm.
an action, and then you're like, well, you go to the grocery store. Okay, I'm going to the grocery store, but you don't come home with any groceries. Okay. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like,
yes,
well,
I do.
okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
So it's kind of
yes.
like, okay, one time, fine.
Yeah.
The ninth time, you're like, well, okay, what's happening here?
Yeah.
So the work was happening, but the money, according to him, wasn't coming.
Uh-huh.
So it put a lot of strain on me,
Yeah.
you know, to work. And you know me, I'm a worker and
Yes.
an earner.
Very much so.
So when I
yes.
have to feed people, I go in even deeper. Could you even imagine?
No.
Okay. So that was like a problem, sort of a, let's just say a volcano, you know, building up its
Bubbling.
whatever. And I had money from my business, my fashion business, and then obviously from the business we were doing. And there was never any money. It was like a crazy, this was a thing. So I wasn't necessarily like looking the other way, but I did come out of a lot of trauma with my parents passing, barely was over that. We remodeled the house. My sister moved away. It just was so much went on that I don't know if I was ignoring it or I was just like trying to make it to the next day. I don't know what, you know what I'm saying?
Too much going on.
You know, the kids were growing up and it was a lot. Then the dog passed away. I don't want it to be like a sob story, but it was just like this wave of life that was a very hard time. I lost a best friend. I lost from death. It was just like, you know, so you point me and push and I go.
Yeah.
So I'm just like working and feeding. And I mean, we've had conversations about it. He had a manipulative, narcissist way of, you know, controlling the situation. So I just kept cooking and cleaning and raising my kids and making money and doing, you know, what I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know if it's a survival mode or whatever. And then one day I had read something. My daughter Liza actually got in trouble. And I confiscated the computer and I confiscated the cell phone. And I said, I'm going to look in this computer. And so, and I go and I'm reading the chat. And I was like, I think it would have been better if you had actually hit me with a 2x4.
Oh my gosh.
Because I think I would have survived that.
Right. Better than discovering some information on your own.
So the discovery was for years and years and years and years and years, he had been telling her things. This is not a mudslinging thing. He had been telling her personal things about me, things against me, things that I haven't revealed about myself to them, to my daughters. And she was very upset with something he had said to her, and she was telling it to her boyfriend. And when I read this whole thing, I went, oh, we're done. We're done.
Wow.
We're done. And you know me, it's hard for me to walk away. It's hard for me to let go. It's hard for me. I'm sort of a lifer. Like if you're with me, you're with me.
Right.
Like even you and I, it would be hard to separate us. Some major stuff would have to go down.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
To
You're
really
very, very
separate
loyal.
that isn't resolvable. Everything has a resolve. This is what I've learned later in life. Like there's no fighting.
Right.
How can I fix it? What can I, and you just do it and fix it and move it forward.
Right. This was a brick wall.
This was a motorcycle going 110 into a brick wall. And there was just no coming back from that. She has no reason to make that up. Everything she was talking about was true. Secrets, personal things, a relationship that I had before that was my older daughter's father. That was, you know, from just things that and I'm like, how does she know that? And how does she know? I was like, oh my. There's really no coming back from that. Yeah. There's no relationship after that.
Why do you think he was doing that?
It was quite sick. She was quite young. It had been going on for a very long time. When I confronted her about it, I had to be very gentle because she's my daughter.
Yeah.
And you don't want her to be put in the middle.
No.
So I just said, hey, I just read this and da-da-da-da-da. And there wasn't, the thing that made me so upset, I think, was that if you just ask me, I'll tell you. But I just felt like, oh, I'll tell her this when she's older. And also.
Well, it's your tale to tell.
It wasn't his story to tell.
Exactly.
And I never disclosed any of his little stories, which there are plenty.
Yeah, totally.
And some awful ones also, things like take it to your grave kind of things, because that's just me. And I was just like, wait, I'm sorry. Is this, I don't even know what category to put this in.
Betrayal?
Like, your boyfriend cheats on you. Okay, I put that in this box. Or someone steals your money. Okay, we put this in this box.
It sounds like a deep betrayal.
This was like check every box.
Yeah.
And then what do you do?
Yeah.
So I just said, we're done.
How did you feel? Did you feel
I
like
felt
sinking, heavy? Did you feel light? How did you feel? Were you shaky?
You know when something is so hot that it's cold? Like I was so upset that I wasn't even upset. Like I was so upset, I don't even know how to be that upset.
Interesting.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
There was no, so first I freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
Then I called a really good friend of mine who always, you know, the scales of balance that, and I didn't know what to do. And he took my daughter out for the day and just took her out. And she cried and she told him everything. And he was like, oh my God, it's all true. This is crazy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We're like, wait, but it's like who are you even married to?
Yeah.
Who is this person? 20 years together.
Right.
Plus in high school. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine, I can't even imagine explaining it to you. It's just imagine nothing is as it appears.
Right.
Tomorrow when you wake up, it's all fake.
It was all a lie.
It's all, right.
Yeah.
And so I had to process it first. I think it was more like in shock. I did get upset later, but I think it was more trying to process, like, I wasn't even at like, what do I do? Or how do I live? I was like, just trying to like seeing the worst thing you could imagine seeing in your life. And then you have to figure out, it doesn't hit you till later.
Yep.
So she came back home that after. It's like such a long, crazy, crazy, crazy story. I had texted him and I had said, did you say this and this and this and this to her? And he said, no, I did not.
Oh boy.
Then he called her while she was with my friend and he made her cry and she got very upset. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not putting my kids in the middle of this. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
That's not we're not doing that. And so he said he never called her. And then that moment I realized, wow, this is like something else we have going on here. I just need to get out of this situation. That was the feeling.
Right.
It was just like out. Kids, save me out.
Yeah.
However that's going to be. We all make mistakes in life. I'm sure if you sat down a panel of therapists, they would give you 27 different answers from 27 different people of how to deal with that.
Right.
But you just have to do what you have to do in that moment. So it was my house. It was my parents' house that I owned. So he had to go.
Right.
And all these stories that started coming in and all this information from the other daughters and this and that and this. And the whole thing just became, I was like, wait. What? The whole thing was so unbelievable. So he wasn't doing anything physically bad to anyone. Let me be very clear. Right. Just all stories and just backstabbing and just like all kinds of.
It sounds to me like he driving wedges. And it's not necessary.
No, and that's like a dynamic of this personality type of person to do that.
Yes.
But with my children against me.
Yeah.
So here I am. I was a stay-at-home mom for years. Cooking, cleaning, taking care of him, the house, the dishes. Can you imagine my house if I'm a stay-at-home mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah.
Soldiers in the closet, everything perfect, everything ironed and I enjoyed it, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that I have any regrets over that time. I love that I could be there for my kids.
Sure.
But I just thought, wow, that's like your whole life isn't really even your life.
No.
So mine was like a sinking kind of, now what do I do? Because when something catches on fire, you point the fire extinguisher at it.
Sure.
But when this happens to you, you go, what do I do?
Yeah.
You don't know what to do.
It's going to burn down the whole thing.
So I gave him 30 days to get out of the house. Respectfully. He moved into the den. He had 30 days to go. Day 29, he had not done anything.
Wow.
He had not packed one single thing.
Whoa.
And I had to share a bathroom with him. I couldn't even look at him. It was a disaster. The kids were around. It was a very hard time. One of my kids looked at me and she said, you need to divorce him. She was very young. But she said the words to me out loud. Like every person I knew encouraged me because they were like, this isn't.
It was not the right fit.
No. And
it
it's
was
like
not the right fit.
If you go back to somebody that's cheating on you, he was not cheating, by the way. If you go back to somebody that's cheating over and over and over and it's like, and you don't get it, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
So the difference between me and that person is that I never thought for 1 second I'm taking one step backwards.
Right.
You're
right,
out.
Right.
I swear only by God's hand was it my house. I don't know what would have to happen if I was the one that had to leave.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the day that he moved out, my friend is a mover and actually moved him. I was dumping his drawers of stuff into boxes. He wasn't moving. I had to do it.
Wow.
He was not going. He had made no move. He had gotten a place for himself.
He
He had not made any moves I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. I just started dumping ceiling boxes. Take this one, take this one, take this one, out. And that was, I think, a very healthy exercise. I don't think people should like pack up someone's stuff and whatever, but he was going.
Yeah.
And then this is where I feel like, because I knew we were going to talk about this today, so I've been thinking about it for a few days. This is where I feel the remarkable thing happened, where I made a decision. So I don't have my parents. I don't really have any living relatives, a couple, like whatever, an old aunt, a couple, not, no one to borrow money from. No, already got my inheritance, quote unquote. It's like,
yeah.
So making a decision in a marriage like that, you're really going to do it by yourself.
Totally.
But I realized I'm already doing it by myself.
Right.
I'm paying for everything. I'm cooking everything. I'm cleaning everything. I'm hustling. I hustle. Did he ever bring one job to us of someone's house?
Right.
No, I did. You know what I'm saying? He just shows up, reaps the benefits. Right?
Right.
So I was kind of thinking like, yeah, okay, I can do it on my own.
I got it. I basically, doing it.
And when my parents were sick, there was 5 people in their house, my parents, my sister, and 2 caregivers, and there was 5 of us. And I was cooking for 10 people.
Wow.
For years.
Right.
While I ran my business, while I raised my children.
Right.
I would just go buy like 6 chickens.
That's
I would make
crazy.
like 3 trays of lasagna. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I was like, I've already been doing it.
Yeah.
To be honest, I've already been doing it.
Yeah.
He was a good dad when the kids were small. He was cute. He was, he changed diapers. He took a month off work when Liza was born. And so I can't say bad things about him. But then these other actions were so
confusing. I would imagine they'd be confounding.
In the opposite direction. You know what I mean? So he left. It was a Sunday. And we had one car that we shared, but it was my car in my name. He took the car. I didn't know. I go, okay, it's Sunday at 3. School's tomorrow. That's over. I just had the kids, I think we had a little swim and I was going to make some good food. And it was very traumatizing. It was very ugly. You know what I mean? Very, he wasn't easy. He did not go easy. It was not easy. I said, okay, I'm gonna go to the market. I'm gonna stock up a little. Because tomorrow's Monday, time for school.
Yeah.
And I look at my keychain. I see my key is gone.
He took it off the keychain? He did.
So everyone has to think carefully about this statement that I'm going to make. My biggest mistake was not calling the police and reporting that car stolen, because that action of my weakness dictated the next 5 years. Do you know what I mean? Because he said, oh, she's not going to do anything to me.
I see.
Oh, she's not going to do anything to me. That's it. So I don't have a vindictive bone in my body, but dude, you took my car. You left me with 2 kids and no car.
Right.
That's not cool.
Well, it's not cool to leave you, especially no matter who owned the car. The mother.
No conversation about it. That was the other thing.
Car is not.
So like, why don't we have a conversation about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, then I realized I had no money. So I went through all the little change jars and I collected about $40. And I had my girlfriend come pick me up and take me to the market. And I had $40 to buy groceries. And I said, you know what? This is the last time. Right. This will never, ever happen to me again.
Right.
By anyone's hand, by my own hand, this will never happen to me again. Because I mean, wow, really? No money, no car, no this, no that, just devastate a whole entire existence and go. So I just dug in and started working. Vince and I started working. Vince and I did it together. We did this one job where we thought, oh, let's they wanted all rock over the rose. It was a rental. So we're like, okay, great. So we picked up the bags of rocks, which they load into the car for you when you get there. But they don't load out of the car. And there's Vince and I. We did it. Let me tell you, we made this house so gorgeous.
Yeah.
It was, and after that, I was like, I think we can do anything. Literally.
Totally.
And he and I used to put in all the edging. Everything that you see these guys do, Vince and I used to do together ourselves. He had a truck. He had a truck. I had no car. Mm-hmm. We did everything in his truck. And we just, built our tools and built whatever. And we did it together for quite a long time and did it well. It was the foundation of my ex-husband and I together was not the foundation of this business.
Right.
It was, you know what I mean? It was that work and those relationships and, what went on. I am very grateful to him for that, to Vince for that. And he supported me, and it's kind of like sentimental. He gave me a credit card.
He did.
That had $5,000 on it. And he said, you take it, you pay the bill, you feed your kids, you pay your bills.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, look at me. Look at me. I'm already turning it around.
Right.
I'm cool. I can take that on. Okay, I'll do it. I didn't even ever have a credit card. I was like, wow, okay. And that was all like turning points. And then we just started working and just started saving.
Yeah.
But while all the positive was happening, now there's the cleaning up of the mess.
Yeah.
That has to happen. And that was really brutal.
Yeah.
That was brutal because there was relationships broken. Mm-hmm. There was friends that you lose. Mm-hmm. The friends that did stick by me stuck by me through my parents being sick and dying. Just think of what I've just been through. And a couple made it out the other side and a couple did not. And it's okay. Yeah. It's all right. I mean, everyone, handles death differently and trauma differently. Some friends don't ever want to hear about your tough times, and others support you and uplift you and put credit cards in your hand. Who does that?
Totally. Then
I have another friend of mine who came for a holiday dinner. It was my first Thanksgiving. I never carved a turkey in my life. I would cook it, but he would carve it.
Yeah.
And so we were all in the kitchen, and it was kind of funny because we were like all looking at each other. The table was gorgeous. And of course, the food was amazing.
Of course.
And my daughters were, baking all the pies, and we all started laughing. I said, okay, give me the thing. I'm going to do it.
Let's do it.
And I just started cutting this turkey. Mm-hmm. Badass carving job, by the way. I've never done that in my entire life. And it was juicy, and everyone was picking and eating. And that was sort of this, I don't know, turning point.
It was.
We just had this awesome, we did it. We got through Thanksgiving. We did it. We didn't need him. We did it. It wasn't, you keep thinking like, who's going to carve turkey? Who's going to take the trash out? Who's going to pick up the dog shit? You are. Just to go do it.
Yeah.
And so guess what? It's all done. Everything's done. The house is gorgeous. I'm still here.
Yep.
And so now when that all happened, I think something hard, we had no retirement plan. He wiped me out. I don't want to say like, I'm not saying it bad. It's just the way it just was. Yeah. And it's part of my journey. The money part was really part of my journey.
Yes.
Because I had my inheritance gone. He said he had no money. He said da. And when we divorced and we did the forensic accounting, I saw he had money the whole time. Another slap, another hit. Oh, wow, really? So like the whole thing was just smoke and mirrors. I don't even know what to tell you.
Yeah.
He's living one entire other life. And I'm living this whole other life. So here I am, Susie Homemaker, building this business, trying all this good. And he's doing everything his power. I don't understand why.
Yeah.
I don't know what the end game was. We've never figured that out.
Huh.
So I really had to start to learn how to invest in the stock market, build my credit. My credit score was like 300.
Oh,
I was like, oh God, with so many derogatory things. And also was my daughter's, because there was bills that weren't paid that we didn't know about. So there was all that unfolding of things. So all the things we didn't know about started coming out. And each person I would speak to, so I would see someone that used to be my neighbor. And then she told me a story about him that was, not even going to repeat it, that was pretty awful. And I was like, why didn't you tell me that story when it happened?
Right. What'd she say?
Well, it's your husband and you're this and you're that. And I said, well, I'm just telling you right now that if your boyfriend or husband did that to me, I'd be telling you.
Oh,
I'm just letting you know right now.
Wow.
And then I told someone else something, and then they told me another story. And I was like, wow, are you guys really serious? So I don't know if this is a a guess. Okay. I don't know if he threatened people or he bamboozled their brain or what went on. But there's this whole entire huge group of people super close to me that never told me their story of the things he said or did. Someone told me after, oh yeah, he used to tell me that all the time. And I'm like, why would you not repeat that to me?
Wow.
I will tell you right now, if your husband said that to me, I would tell you. I'd be like, do you know what he just said to me?
Right.
You know what he told me about you?
Right.
I would tell you.
Right.
Because it's so like, you need to know that.
Yeah.
So it's all very narcissist. You know, there's a whole type of person that behaves like this.
Sounds very undermining.
It was very undermining. It was also very embarrassing, very painful.
Yeah.
So I didn't even grieve my parents because we went right into fixing up the house and then trying to build the business. And there was money issues and there was other things, but it all seemed like everything was like an action to cover another action. So like, I wouldn't see this, a deflection. I wouldn't see that. I'm not stupid, but I was like, how did I not see that? But then I would think, oh, I know exactly how. And then talking to my friends and discussing with other people, we would realize, yeah, he would get you to do this, or he would show, send you spinning off over there. And, okay, so now I have to learn how to literally save money, pay all the bills. So I paid, the debt was massive, massive. The bills were massive. I paid everything down.
Wow.
Made it all right. They won't put the electric bill in your name until that bill is paid.
Right.
Every bill was, and I don't even know how it got this far, $2,500, $3,800, $4,700, tax debt, this debt. I was like, oh my God, that would bury some people.
Yes. I don't know how it didn't bury you.
I made a list.
Yeah.
I started picking it off.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to make a deal and everybody wants to get paid.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so make the call.
That's very true.
So I just decided I'm going to go the other way. Instead of waiting for them to come get me, I'm going to go get them.
Yes.
So they get a phone call and I say, hey, listen, this is what's going on. This is what's happened.
Yeah.
This is what I need to do.
Yeah.
And
that money piece is so terrible. When my parents divorced, I was only 7, but my mom had taken out credit cards in my dad's name. He had no knowledge and ran them all up and never paid them. And then creditors came after my dad and he was like, I don't have a Sears card, back in the 70s. Right. I don't have a Sears card.
Like, yeah, you do.
You bought a washer dryer with it. No, I didn't. Well, it says Mrs. Jimmy Kemp. And he's like, that we're divorced. He still had to pay all those bills. And he was so devastated that someone would do that to someone else,
and then cook you dinner. And then sleep in the same bed with you.
Yeah.
This was the thing.
Very,
and I'm like, wait a minute.
Criminal minded.
I'm like, wait a minute. 2 nights ago, we were out at a fancy dinner together, like celebrating our anniversary or something. What?
Yeah. It's I think for my dad anyway, that like rocked everything he understood about life.
Okay. I hear those words.
Like everything was questioned from that point on. Everything he thought was reality was questioned because you just don't think someone who says they love you, who does these things for you, who you're married to, even if you say I want a divorce, that they would do something so underhanded.
And it had been going on. Some of it was older than one of our kids.
What?
So I was like, wait. So the craziest part was he used to hide the mail. So I'd never see the bills. And I would never get any mail. And I'd be like, where's the mail? One day he took me to the post office and let me go in and yell at them. Where's the mail? I'm never getting any mail.
Oh my God.
And I live in a small city.
So
you know where I live.
Yes. So
we have one main post office and it's, small. And he's sitting in the car laughing.
Hold on. That's how deep he was into hiding his lie. That he would allow you to walk into the post office and yell at someone.
Drive me there.
Oh my God.
So as time passed, we started cleaning out the garage. And a friend of mine was there. And he said, girl, you better go. I have this big center island in the kitchen, almost size of like that desk. Mm-hmm. And he said, you better you go sit there and I'm going to bring something in right now. And
oh my God, I'm so nervous.
He goes, you need to really be sitting down. And I was like, okay. So let me take a step backwards and I'm going to take a step forward. So the day that he left, the neighbor came from across, we used to live across the street and around the corner because it was my parents' house. We used to live right around the corner. And it was a guy that owned that building, and he moved into our unit when we moved out.
Mm-hmm.
And he came over with this big stack of mail, and he says, "Oh, this came for you." And it's all IRS notices. But you see, you take the control away. You move the person. They don't have the control anymore. Now all the truths are going to come. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. What else is coming? There was a massive IRS debt. He had never paid the tax. It was I was like, on top of everything else, right? So we started cleaning out the garage. The garage was my father's. It was jam-packed. My mom used to beg him to go clean the garage. Art, you got to clean the garage. I say, Mom, just leave him. Let him do it. It makes him happy. He goes in there, he futzes it. Okay, that was really stupid because he passed away. And
now you get to clean the garage.
And then when we cleaned out the house, we kind of put more stuff in there and, whatever. And it became sort of like
the catch-all.
It's still there. I'm still trying to clean it out.
Yeah.
Because then you're busy and whatever, right?
I understand.
So my friend says to me, you better sit down, okay? He brings in this box. I don't even know how he was carrying this box. And inside the box is all the AT&T bills bundled. All of the Edison bills bundled. All of the cable bills in order, not opened, for years.
Oh my God.
Then he goes and brings another box. I thought I was going to pass out. I don't even know. Do you cry? Do you throw something? Do you throw up?
All of
Do
the
you
above?
pass out?
Oh my God, all of it.
There was checks in there that weren't cashed. I call vendors for my business. You never paid me. Like, we sent you a check. They reset. This is the sickest thing I
What
ever
was
saw.
his problem?
I don't know. But there was some weird thing with like hiding the mail. It's all about control, controlling like the outcome. I don't know. So I had to dig myself out of that mess, which you can imagine. So like normally if your phone bill is $100 and you don't pay it this month and then next month's bill is $100.
Yeah.
Then you get a notice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they say you have to pay to get disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these bills were literally $4,700. How do you get that far?
Yeah.
They weren't that big monthly.
Right.
It's not like it was $1,300 a month and it was 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean.
At $2,600.
It was an accumulation of months and months and months of neglect.
I was like blown away.
Yeah. Hey guys, I want to tell you about a new sponsor of my podcast. It's Meundies. Soft, comfortable, easy to wear, adorable. I had some and they were stolen by my sensory processing daughter who has taken them from me, my underwear, from Meundies. And I have not seen them again. They have a great thing going on for Valentine's Day. Is someone you love in a relationship with someone who tells you the same joke over and over? Or are they with someone who has the audacity to starfish in bed? Now be honest, is this somebody you? Relationships are not perfect. That's why Meundies is celebrating our imperfectly perfect matches with their new Valentine's Day collection. Bert has had them as a sponsor before, and I always was super jealous because they were so great and cute and soft, and I always wanted them for myself. So I'm so happy that they're my sponsor too. And now I'm going to go and get some for Valentine's Day because I have the hardest time buying something for Bert for Valentine's Day. And I think matching undies would be right up his alley. I think this is a great Valentine's Day idea. Gifting underwear for Valentine's Day, groundbreaking. But gifting matching underwear for you and your significant other, now we're talking. Express your one-of-a-kind relationship when you match your bottom half to your better half in fun, limited edition prints. If you're single, mingle in matching pairs with your friend or fam. You can even get dog hoodies or buddy bands to match your four-legged BFF. Be sure to check out all of Meundies' super cute and super soft undies, socks, bralettes, loungewear, and they're available in sizes extra small to 4XL, which is amazing because my daughter's actually an extra small, even though she wears my mediums. I don't know how that works, but I think that's great that they sell extra small to 4XL. That's so accessible to everybody. Meundies has a great offer for my listeners for a limited time only. Get 25% off your first order of matching pairs for Valentine's Day. And as a first-time purchaser, you can also get 15% off and free shipping right to your door. So to get 25% off matching pairs, 15% off your first order, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to meundies.com/wife. That's meundies.com/wife.
I didn't even know how to even go about, this is like a normal thing. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
So this is where I just made my list. I called the IRS and I told her what had happened.
Mm-hmm.
And he was bringing me the taxes and showing that he would go prepare them. I would sign them. I would pay the accountant for doing the work. He'd never mail them in. He'd never make the payments.
He'd never file them.
So they have this thing called innocent spouse, which you can file innocent spouse. Someone does this to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I called the IRS and this woman answered and she said, this was a magical moment. This is a moment. Most people hate the IRS. Not me. Not me. And I actually look forward to paying my taxes. I like being straight. I like no money owed.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that about me. That's like a big thing for me. I like to pay. I get clean.
Yeah.
So she said to me, I told her this whole story and I told her, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know even if I'm talking to the right person. I don't even know any, my mom used to prepare my taxes for me.
Mm-hmm.
Her brother was a CPA. She was a bookkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
And then my husband took over doing the taxes. So I don't think I ever filed a tax return by myself one time.
Right.
Ever.
So
My mom would do it and all my bookkeeping.
Yeah.
For my whole business.
Right.
I had to literally sign here, write a check. I think she even would write the check. And I think she would even write the check and sign the check. I literally had nothing to do with it.
You were out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't even know any of this was happening. The chick from the IRS said, you need to file innocent spouse. That's what it's called. She told me the whole procedure. And she said, my ex-husband did the same thing to me. And I'm going to take your folder and I'm literally going to stick it down at the bottom of the pile. You're not going to hear from anybody for about 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be saying that out loud. And I was like, okay. And she actually did. I didn't hear one word, but it gave me a chance to start to, I didn't even know what I was even dealing with at this point.
Right.
So then I remember when he left, it was the beginning of September. My birthday was a few days later. And by October 1st, I was on that phone. I was tackling the IRS. I was tackling the bills. I was making lists. I was knocking stuff out. I spent all my money paying down that debt. Not the IRS debt, but the rest of the debt.
The rest of the debt, yeah.
The IRS debt took about 4 years to resolve, but I did do it.
Mm-hmm.
What I feel is really fair and honest.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go back to 2014. These are all accomplishments. These are all achievements. People think, how am I going to do that? You just do it.
You just do it.
Put your head down and just be quiet and just do it.
Right.
So I had to go back to 2014 and pay 14, 15, 16.
Oh my God.
How could you even file your tax for 2000? What did you do in 2015?
I don't even know.
Okay, there you go. But I had to go back and do it. And I did it. And I just bit one bite of the elephant at a time. Your favorite expression. And I just did it. And all of a sudden I was caught up and it was 2019. I was like, oh my God, I'm completely caught up. And I did it. I could not. It was crazy.
That is crazy.
And I felt like I played the honesty card.
Yeah.
I played just worked really hard.
Right.
And just kept raising the girls and keeping the girls on track and trying to support them because obviously there's this divorce happening that was awful.
Yeah.
He would not divorce me. It took 4 years.
Wow.
Cost me all the I had to pay. He didn't
I
pay.
know your divorce was final when we were working together in my yard.
Was fine,
I remember that.
Which was completely crazy. And I gave up. I just said, okay, I'll take that deal, sign it. And I got nothing. I got no money. I got no alimony or spousal support, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
I get Liza was already 18. Child support for one kid.
Yeah.
So all those 3 years, I paid for everything for Liza and get $1 back.
Right.
I have zero regret. My kids went to the doctor. They had vacations. They went to school. They had food.
And you had freedom.
All by my hand.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
And they're proud of me.
Yeah, they should be.
They should be. And they are.
Yeah.
And they tell me.
Yeah.
And so you're always mad because you're like, dude, that's not, it's not fair, but what's fair, I guess.
Well, and mad doesn't get you moving forward.
No, it doesn't.
Mad keeps you stuck in the mud.
So I'm a talker. Like I like to blow out the gas, like just release the air.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a couple good friends that really, I mean, there was a hourly rate, I'd owe them like each $1 million. But
you could pay them in 4 years.
But once but once I just like talk it out and process it and get it out, you know what I mean? It was a lot. It
sounds like a lot.
And every once in a while, I'll still hear something. I'll be like, what? No way. And yeah, so shocking, crazy. whatever. It was the best thing I ever did. It was so smart. I didn't even realize how trapped I was, how blocked my life was. He had already traveled through Europe. He had already spent time living in Italy, living here, living there, doing all these things. He never wanted to go anywhere because he already did it.
Yeah.
So is the rest of my life really this is just a whole other different subject. You could just, is my life going to be sitting here cooking and cleaning for him? And that's my life in this house?
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in that house. I almost spent 100 years in one house. You know what I'm saying? Like I already grew up there, moved back there. Yeah. That's just where I'm going to be, on this street in this house. He was perfectly content.
Right.
He wanted to go anywhere. Didn't want to go to dinner. A couple blocks from our house, we have a very popular, cute little street. We did not walk one time there to eat. It's so cute. Walk there. You could drink. You could.
Yeah.
It's 2 blocks away. 2 short blocks, the side blocks.
Yeah, yeah.
He never wanted to do any of those things. And I realized it's just the opposite.
So now let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Before you found out about this, well, I just call it the betrayal with your daughter's computer, did you feel happy?
I guess it was what I thought was happy. I feel now like I was just going through some motions because I realized that there were some things that I might have even seen beforehand. But I don't know if, like, you know what? My mom's dying from cancer. I can't really deal with that right now. There were certain things that certain people said to me that happened. I know they didn't tell me those things because those things I really would have heard and reacted to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, there was a roof over our head and our house was beautiful. We just remodeled. We had a pool. The kids were good. We were working. You know me, I'm always in this look forward motion, just trying to move forward, make it happen.
Right.
Make it better than it was the last time.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
I think that's the good and the bad about a happy disposition. Right? Yeah. You have a happy disposition.
Thank you.
You don't want to be unhappy.
No,
you have no interest in being unhappy. But the bad about that sometimes is I think we need a little cut, because I'm that way. I can make a freaking lemonade out of lemons all day long. And sometimes they just need to be lemons. And when they're lemons, you can look at them and go, wait a minute, does this really? Of course, a person like you or me can make anything work. Anything. I mean, we made so much shit work in this yard.
Oh my God. The changes and decisions that we had to make, like, okay, right now, what do you want to do?
Make it work. But I wonder sometimes, because everybody has places where they should grow and learn, no matter if you're happy disposition or contrarian. But I think about that for myself sometimes, is that I don't pay attention to my happiness because I'm always happy. I'm rarely unhappy.
So there's like, I think 2 different lives going on here. My kids are amazing.
Yeah.
No regret.
Totally.
I literally wish I had 5.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I would never go backwards on that. Raising them was awesome. They are awesome. Champions. Oh my God, they were so cute and good to my mom. And my mom was sick and they were small and it was cute and she was sick. And I used to do things. I used to leave them there and they would like clean for her and help her and spend time, do things with her. But like, when someone just like does those 4 dishes when you're sick and they just like clean up around you and they just, the little things that they would do were so amazing.
Yeah.
I can't even explain it. That's the kindness, leave a little card or a foot rub or just they were so, oh my God, they were so, and no one told them to do that. That was them behaving.
That's who they are.
Their pure heart way, that was really awesome. So I don't regret that. I don't even know if I regret him, but it was like a blind, in a movie when someone has a flashback and then they go zip back and they go zip forward. It was like everything in that moment when I read what I had read just caught up and then made sense. And I went, I'm done.
So fascinating. That's really interesting because I know what you mean. No, obviously I have a marriage that works, but a relationship that stopped for me is with my mom, which is not the same as a husband or wife.
No,
but it's still a lifelong relationship.
And it's an important person.
It is someone, and it is someone that people typically fight to stay with, and after years of dysfunction and unhealth, I had that moment too where I went, oh, no, this is over.
Because of how many times it happened.
Over and over and over.
That's right.
But at the same time, I always pick myself up, dust myself off. I can make this work. I can make this work. This is probably something I'm doing. I definitely am the one that's made the mistake. I know that I didn't, I moved to my dad's at 13 because that's where I wanted to live, and then didn't see her for a long time because I was disowned. Isn't really my fault, but somehow I probably contributed to the problem. So I probably was a smart ass, or I didn't tell her the right way, or maybe I didn't handle myself. And so that's really my fault. I mean, that's what I did my whole life until I got pregnant with Georgia. And when she did that, when I was pregnant with Georgia, I went, oh, no, this will not be happening to my children. Done. I'm done.
And that was a really big thing, because I can't control him and what he says to them, but he told her things. You should, first of all, was age inappropriate.
Right.
Okay. About certain people and certain things that certain people had done.
But what was his motivation to tell her?
I don't know. That's what I never figured out. And I found out he'd been telling Liza since she was about 11 years old. And when I heard, so basically, we both were smokers. We sit outside, we used to smoke, we used to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And I just got to a certain point where I don't know if my life got busy or my parents got really sick, or I just didn't want to hear it anymore. He'd always talk about his family, but yet there'd never be a resolve. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
He liked to be in the drama of it, but not in a resolution of it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. And there, it just kept, oh my God, really? Okay. So if you don't like, let's make up a person, Aunt Lucy.
Yeah.
Don't go see Aunt Lucy.
Yeah, totally.
You don't like her cooking, don't eat it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It's just simple. Maybe not as simple because it's your parents and this and that and whatever, but it was all like manipulation. He was telling his mom that I hated her, and he was telling me that she hated me.
Right.
Did I say it right? Telling her that I hated her and telling me that she hated me.
Yeah.
So whenever we would see each other, it was like this crazy, but our birthdays were a day apart and we were both Virgos, and she's the smartest, prettiest, oh my God, so pretty, cool grandma, nice lady who I've loved since I was in high school.
Right.
How do you not love me? I'm so confused.
Yeah.
What? I never did. What?
So
I give you the grandbabies and I marry your son and I take care of him. You know, clearly, you know what. So everything just flashed forward into that one moment. I cannot explain it to you. It's almost like when someone say they die and then they come back.
Yeah.
You know, they say like, I flashed through my whole life and you know what I'm saying?
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, where things make sense. Things add up. Things, all of a sudden you have perfect clarity. Like when that happened with my mom, when I was 33, when I was pregnant with Georgia, I had been.
I was also 33, pregnant with Liza.
Were you really?
Yeah, she's the same age as Georgia.
That's right. Yeah. I forgot about that. So my mom had been trying to get her to come visit me in LA for a long time, before I got pregnant, long time. I wanted her to meet Bert. And I just wanted to see her because we were in a together phase, right? We separated when I was 13 for like a year and a half, and then reconciled, and then separated again at 23. It's every 10 years for like 7 years. And then
that's hard. No
reconnected.
talking?
Nothing.
Oof.
No. And then reconnected.
That's hard.
And then 33 was when the separation happened for the third and final time.
Oh, and you're building your family. You're getting married.
And you mature out of some of that. Surely I can fix this. This must be me. And at a certain point you go, this is not actually me. Like, I can't say it's 100% her, but it might be 90. It's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. If no one's ever told you, it's okay for it to be 1% you and 99% somebody else.
It is okay.
And sometimes,
yes, absolutely.
You're not a blame shifter. I know I'm not either.
No.
But sometimes it actually is 99% the other person.
Sometimes it actually is.
It actually really is.
But when I had been trying to get my mom to come see me, and she had a psychic told her that she was supposed to marry John Voight. And that she could not come to LA unless she knew for sure that John Voight was here, so that they could run into each other coincidentally somehow and get married and live happily ever after. So she kept putting me off to come see me, tracking John Voight.
Okay, I I don't really even have a response.
I was like, okay. Well, I'd like to be a priority. I don't know why John Voight is whatever. So then,
no, that was just her awesome way of avoiding it.
It was just her being herself, who's always believed that she's going to find some knight in shining armor that's going to take her away from herself. Really, she doesn't know it's herself, but from whatever makes her unhappy. And she's always been in pursuit of someone like larger than life. Maybe not famous per se, but like she dated a professional basketball player when I was a kid. She dated all these really wealthy men. But anyway, when she had gotten me invited to a Hollywood party that a friend of hers son was invited to, and it's a bunch of bullshit. Now all of us that live in Hollywood are like, this is not a big deal party. But she's in Alabama.
Yeah, but there's no.
She's in Alabama.
Yeah, but there's never even a big. Now, when you live in that life,
exactly, it's not really a big party.
I used to style and
totally
and go in celebrities' homes, and I still do, and so now it's kind of like.
Well, it's not
I don't even recognize
deal.
people.
It's our neighbors. It's where we live.
One time I didn't recognize Bruce Springsteen. I worked in a store and he came in shopping.
Oh my God.
And everyone was outside the window taking pictures. And I was like, what is wrong? And I just want to say
that
he was wearing black boots, blue jeans, a white t-shirt, the uniform.
Right.
And he asked me, hey, do you have a shirt like with the buttons I want to buy for my manager for the holidays? And I was like, oh my God, no. It was a very nice store in the Beverly Center. I was like, no. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen you in here before. He's like, yeah. And he's like, all right, I'll come back. And thanks so much. And he walks out and the boss says to me, you don't even know who that was, do you? And I go, no, because it was Bruce Springsteen.
It was the boss.
It was literally
the
but
boss.
That's how I just like work and go. And because I grew up in it, I don't even, I mean, where I grew up also, like, I don't even care. It doesn't even register.
Yes. Well, when you're in Alabama, it's a big deal. And so my grandmother, my dad's mom had a stroke. And I called her and said, thank you so much for getting me into this Hollywood party, but I can't go. I'm going to go back to Georgia and see my grandmother. She just had a stroke. And my mother stopped talking to me for that. Stopped talking to me. And then we were getting married. This happened very fast. Like right after this party was supposed to happen, I got engaged and I was pregnant. So I wanted to tell her in a phone call conversation. So I kept calling her. I need something really important. I need to tell you. Please call me back. This is like the third or fourth time calling. If you're upset with me for not going to this party again, I apologize, but I really need to talk to you. She never called me back. Never, not one time.
7 years.
No. This was like maybe in August when the party was, and this was like mid-September. I was trying to get in touch with her. To tell her that I'm getting married and that I'm having a baby. So I never did. And so I was like, well, fuck, I got to send her a wedding invitation. I'm just going to email her. She won't call me back. I got to tell her. I don't want her to just get this wedding invitation in the mail and go, oh, she's getting married. And I don't want her to hear from somebody else because my dad knows that I'm having a baby and they're 5 miles from each other. So I sent her this email. I just wanted you to know I have some happy news. I'm pregnant and I'm getting married. And the email I got back from her was so crazy that I saved it. I printed it out and saved it because I did not ever want to forget why I chose that this relationship was over. The words she said, I printed that email out, and Bert and his sister were in my office with me, and I handed it to Bert's sister, and she read it and started crying, and she goes, what mother speaks to their child this way? How does she talk to you this way? And that moment was the moment you're talking about for me with my mom, is where I went, oh, all of this now is no longer my fault. I thought all these things and these reasons why we couldn't get along was at least 50% my fault. And in this moment.
Well, of course. And she's always telling you how you need to change.
Oh, what's wrong with me and how I offended her and what an ungrateful daughter and how could you be so ungrateful and you're never going to make it because you're fat, you're ugly, you're short, you're tall, you're whatever. And all of a sudden that one moment when Annie read that and started crying and said, what mother speaks to their daughter this way? I can't imagine who does that. I had that moment you're talking about.
So the biggest epiphany that I had, and from gathering data, something that really, some of the things that I read what was repeated, well, whatever. Do you know water off a duck's back? You know me.
Yeah.
My skin is thick.
Yeah.
Whatever. Good for you, whatever. I don't, you know what I mean? But it was the crazy calling. Your mother's crazy, calling me crazy. And the actions.
That's just a total manipulation.
Hold on. Yeah. The actions of saying like, oh, there she goes again. Oh, there goes crazy. Oh, da, da, da. But no one ever said that to me. You know what I mean? Mm. There were so many stories. It's a whole other, that could be an entire other show. But I think I was at some sort of almost breaking point of just my life. The PTSD after my father died was quite serious. It was like a very traumatic, whatever. It was hit me really hard, and then whatever. I just been going through a lot.
And 2 months apart is ridiculous.
Well, my mom was sick for so long, and then she was in the hospital, and she came home. The day she came home, he stroked out. He died in Cedars and Sinai, and we're trying to get my mom there, and it just was. My next door neighbor Ricky had died. John Lopez was the love of my life. Best friend had died. It was just like, take everyone you love and put them in a bus and just throw them off a cliff. It's just really a lot of, it was a lot too much. And the night that my father died, right when we got home, my mom said, I got to go back, take me to the hospital. And we went back to the hospital, and they put us in the room next to him. He was still there because we'd just been a few hours late. It's like, it's not like one thing you had to get over. It was so, and I didn't really deal with it. I just kind of kept moving. I was trying to raise my kids, and, he was pushing me, manipulating me in like weird ways and things. And, I'm always like, make that money, breadwinner. And I think he was, capitalizing on it. When I look back on it, I see it. And I always say now, thinking back about it, I realized this maybe 6 months after that day. If he had about 6 more months, I think he actually would have put me in the loony house. Like I was I was starting to question, am I doing this? Wait, he used to move my keys. He used to move my purse. So like, you put your stuff down, like in this room, I know where I put my purse, but then you're going, purse isn't there. Where the hell is it? Now you're looking. Now you're late. Now you really can't find it. Now you're in a panic. Now you're stressed.
Right.
Now you get wherever you're going, and you're,
So he just kept you off your game. This is something
always off my game. I had a friend of mine's daughter got married, and I was photographing them, and they were meeting at a certain place, and I had to go, and he had me spinning. I had to get dressed at a certain time, and about 5 minutes before I had to get dressed, he went in the bathroom. For like an hour and a half.
Oh my God.
No, I was going to burn it down. I'm not kidding. I was like out of my mind. Get out of there. So I went without a shower because he wouldn't get out of the bath. It's like that. Who does that?
No, but yeah.
Okay. Like that's just so, you know what I'm saying? Gross.
That's kind of intentionally mean.
Well, thinking back, you realize it now, right? And it's all control. And I remember when I left, I had these two huge like hurricane vases. And I hit one with my purse, and it fell and it shattered. And I was trying to get the kids in the car, and I was trying to get my camera. And it was just so insane.
Yeah.
It was just so, and I think about, times like that. And I really think if he had kept having at me, he really would have, I don't know what the end game was. Was it to get the house and the kids and get rid of me? I don't know what it was. I cannot figure it out. And only he really knows the answer to that question. But when people ask me, or we talk about it in therapy and this or that or whatever, I literally say, I don't know how I even form a sentence, because it was so much, there's so much to tell that it's so awful that I really want to say out loud, because, it's really like, I find that part to be the most extraordinary part.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That I actually can still be in relationships.
Right. Well, that's
stronger relationships.
That is the truth, because, when you grow up with someone, or when you're married to someone, I would assume, that makes you doubt everything you think, feel, believe, try, then you have to really have a strong sense of self that's either natural or earned to be able to have relationships.
Mine's a combo.
Mine's definitely a combo as well. Mine was partly natural, because I remember as a child going, she's lying, in my brain. And I didn't realize that most children don't think like that. They aren't discerning about what their parents are saying. But I remember watching her lie and going, that's totally a lie. At like 7. and that's not normal.
No.
So
and if you're seeing it that clearly, it has to be.
Oh, I would go, that was a lie. Don't talk to me that way. Blah, 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 blah. You disrespect your parents. And I'm like, but it was still a lie. I mean, you're not supposed to do that, right? I'm confused. So yeah, I think part of it is wiring and part of it is super hard earned. You know, the Porsche should be a symbol.
So let's talk about the Porsche. All right, let's talk about the cars really quick. This is a very great story. I can take you on a car journey through the past 5 years that ends in a really badass girl power way.
So how'd you get a car?
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to. Okay, so he took the car, and I was like, dude, really? Of course, I called him and texted him, and he goes, community property, I'll buy it from you. But it isn't like he gave me the half of whatever the value was. He says, oh, I'll give you, I think it was $200 a month. I'm like, for the next 6 years?
Right.
So you'll never get anywhere that way.
No.
You never get anywhere, right?
No.
I was like, wow, son of a bitch. Really? Wow. I mean, how can you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he managed to get me again. Oh, got me again. That's why I said I should have called the police, reported it stolen, and really taken back control of this whole entire situation.
But you didn't know. And you're a nice person.
Apparently, everyone says I'm a very nice person.
You are a very nice person.
I used to think before my parents passed and all these things happened, I was a lot nicer. Now I think I'm just a little more cautious. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. With my heart, with my giving, with my receiving. It's just a little different now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I had no car. Vince had the truck. We went in the truck. That went on for, I don't even know, 3 weeks, a month. I don't have no idea. But I was like, okay, the kids' school is right around the corner. Thank God. But I was like, okay, this is a shit show. We got to make them. I had no money. There was no. So my daughter had a PT Cruiser that my father had bought her. And did she already get engaged? Or move in with Drew, whatever. And so she gave me that car because I think they went down to one car or whatever. And I was like, great. So I drove this thing till it started falling apart.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it was already kind of on its way out. It was a little embarrassing.
Why?
Well, I'm not materialistic. Like, I drive a pickup truck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, she's a cool truck.
Yeah.
But she's not the showiest of all trucks, but she's a cool truck. But I'm not embarrassed. That's my work truck. I love that truck. I'll tell you why I love that truck in a minute. But it was just like, because I used to drive like a nice car. And now I'm just kind of driving like this beater car. It's got some dents, got some rust. Driving the kids to school in it. But you know what? I'm making it happen. Groceries are getting bought. Everything's moving. Kids are getting where they need to go. Kids didn't care at all. Whatever.
Yeah.
It finally started to poop out. And I was like, I'm not even spending $100 on this car.
Right.
Because it's not, you know what I mean? So, my friend told me, oh, these people come, they pay you to take it away. They gave me like $257 and they took it away.
Wow.
I was like, oh God, that's what I'm going to do now. So my friend Lori, her daughter went to live with her father and they lived up at the Kern River and she had just bought her this car. And it was just sitting there. She goes, take Jess's car, drive it. I said, okay, I'm going to buy the insurance and I'm going to buy like a full policy.
Yeah.
And it needed a battery. I put a new battery, of course, this, that, whatever. And then I was driving that car. Mm-hmm. That car got me everywhere that I needed to go.
Right.
So once again, here we go. We're mobile again. Now we go to the next level. You know what I'm saying? And then more whatever.
You have some really generous friends. Which speaks
it's a very small circle. I could sit here and have a conversation with you about my, the expression ride or die doesn't even apply.
Right.
I have a couple of friends around me that they're the family.
Yeah, totally.
They're your family more than some of my, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. I have a plaque in my office that says friends are the family you choose for yourself.
And I've done for them.
Yes.
They will tell you extraordinary things.
Yeah.
But the really being there for each, I mean, it's been, because I really went through some shit and it was hard and it was ugly and the kids were upset. This was all very traumatizing. And my parents were gone. It just was.
Well, to have friends like that speaks to who you are as a friend.
It must.
It does.
And the ones that suck and are gone, well, bye. I mean,
exactly. You weren't a good match.
So then Jess was coming back. And I also said to myself, as soon as Lori lent me that Honda, I'm doing this for 6 months. I'm working. I'm earning. I'd already straightened everything out.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the divorce in front of me, which was, I filed a paper, he would not receive it. Like, I mean, everything. I had to do everything 19 times to spend money. And it was really like, he knew the game.
It was a hand jive.
He's not stupid either, by the way.
No, it doesn't sound
he knew
stupid.
exactly, no. He knew exactly how to bury me in paperwork. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Most manipulative people are very
smart. Okay, I'm going to play the game. Great. Send it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. It was okay. Fine. So I said, I'm going to give myself 6 months. From this date, I'm going to buy a car. So I started saving. And I had $10,000. That's what I was able to save.
Amazing.
10 grand. And it was no going out to dinner. Bring your lunch to work every day, which we still do, by the way. Whatever. But he wasn't a believer in health insurance. He wasn't a believer. So one of the first things I did after I got everything straight, I bought a homeowner's policy on my house. I got an appliance home warranty. I got the kids' health insurance. That he would get the piece of paper and then cancel it. So, okay, we're not doing that anymore because I don't even need to finish that sentence.
Yeah.
So that whole entire time, my kids had health insurance I was paying for. They had everything that they needed, dentist visit, doctor, everything. Looking back, I'm really sitting here going, wow, I really did that. That was amazing. And I really did do that. And he wouldn't split it. Whatever. It was beyond. I just kept doing it. Just, you know me.
Yeah, because it has to
make
be
a list,
done.
put on the list, get it done.
Yeah.
So I started looking for trucks, and I found a truck all the way out past Ontario and like, I don't know what they're called, Montclair or something. And on the way, we stopped at this place and this place and this place. And I hated this. That was falling apart already. So I went to this place, and I think they said the truck was $8,900. So I was like, that was the one I was heading towards. But I thought, okay, let's look a little on our way.
Yeah.
So I get there, and it's this huge. They must have had 1,000 cars there. Lot. I mean, it was massive. And we parked way on the street. We walked the whole lot. They showed me the truck, and I was like, oh, this truck's beautiful. And the rims are daisies. You know that. You've seen it. They're flowers.
Yeah.
And she's like a champagne color.
Yeah.
But it definitely wasn't a girl's truck before. It was like, I think it was a man's truck. But I was like, okay, I'm a landscaper. I love flowers. I love champagne. She's a whatever. So I said, I'm going to try to get it, right? And they said, well, with tax and license and this and that. And they were like jacking up. They're like, it's $13,500.
Oof.
I said, I have $10,000 cash. They said, no. Okay, we can lend you the money. I said, no, I'm not in a position to take a loan because I'm a single mom. So I'm going to lose my truck over not making a $500 payment to you. I don't know what next month is bringing.
Right.
And I have the divorce and no. I said, no. And then they looked at one of my people that was with me and they said, why don't you borrow from him? I go, I don't want to borrow from him. I said, so either the truck is $10,000 cash or it is not.
Right.
You know me, I'm a very good negotiator.
Yes, you are very good.
So I took my friend Freddie, we linked arms, and we said, okay, no deal. And we turned around, and I said to him, do not turn around and look back at those men. Okay? Do not. So the other person that was with us stayed there talking to them, and he's telling them, she got 10 grand in her purse.
Right.
And so Freddie and I linked arms, and we walked across this whole lot, and I said, if I put the key in the door of the Honda, it was literally like 3/4 of a mile away. I said, that's it. I said, but do not turn around. And I said to him, do you want to see how you get grown men to chase after you? Tell them you have $10,000 in your purse and turn around and walk away.
Right.
It was so funny. We were like 91% of the way there. They were like, wait. They go, you really have 10 grand? And I pull out an envelope and I said, you could have the truck.
Nice.
And I got her and she was mine.
Amazing.
And that turned everyone's world around.
Yeah.
Because now I have my own car, no payments, cheap insurance because it's paid for. I can go anywhere. I can work. I can do anything.
Yeah.
And now guess what we can carry? Thousands of pounds of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just changed everything in the whole world.
Right.
And once again, support of everyone around me, whatever. It was a very badass. It's a super long or whatever story. That was the gist of it. But I bought that truck and I drove it home and I was like, no way.
That's a great story.
It was a great story.
Yeah.
And I was super proud of myself.
Yeah.
And those men literally chased me running and
That's what they
screaming.
get. That's what they get. And then you bought the Porsche.
And then I
which is
saved
amazing.
and saved and saved and saved. And I knew I was saving for another car. I didn't know what car it was. I had always dreamt about a particular car,
Mhm.
but like, I don't know, is that a reality? Is that not a reality? Do you need an electric car? Do you need a whatever car? Do you need an SUV? Do you need whatever? And I said, no, that's what I'm going to buy. And that's what I'm going to do. And I told a couple people,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? I never told you. I was saving for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
That's a celebration car. I think that car is a celebration of liberation.
and then when I went to transfer the money, I was like, do I even need the car? Because the activity was to try to save the money. That was the goal, was just to get there.
Mhm.
Or was it? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
But I had this really amazing moment where I just was like, well, I did it. I saved all the money and it was more than I was planning on spending.
Mhm.
The car came from New York. So it was
Mhm.
like $2,500 to bring it here.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the guy that helped me, you know, whatever. And it was all fine. I mean, I had agreed to all of it, but it was like more than I wanted to spend. Had that money too.
Mhm.
I was like, wow, look at me.
Just
adulting.
worked.
Look at me.
you, adulting.
Here I am.
Hello.
So I've had it for about 2 months now, and I just built it a little parking space.
It's amazing.
And I own both of those cars.
Yeah.
And
You own a
which is
very
a big-
successful landscaping
which
business.
is the thing of my daddy was always into paying for it, paying cash for it, and not making payments.
Mhm.
And then my oldest daughter wanted to buy a new car. Her and her husband were sharing a car, and she bought a Subaru, which she was in
Nice.
love with. And she was like, "Oh, well, I don't really have enough, and I'm going to make payment." "No, you're not. I'll give you the money."
Mm.
And I gave her the money.
Nice.
So she's going to pay me back, but I gave her the money to buy to buy a car for herself. And it's just been like, look at me. Look at me. So I'm not that car, like, no one would ever think I would buy a Porsche.
right.
If you gave me $1 million, so what car are you buying? No one would ever think. I'm not the like spend $100,000 on a diamond Rolex
Yeah,
kind of girl. That's
totally.
not my vibe at
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say how much it was. It was very reasonable price. Let's just say the Subaru and the Porsche were almost the same amount of money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, okay, that's
It's a
fine.
reasonable splurge.
Yeah, it was a reasonable splurge. I do like nice things. I take very good care of my things. But now no one's telling me what to do.
Amen, sister.
No, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm the girl boss.
Yeah.
So for most people if we haven't worked with them that are
Right.
listening to us, I'm the boss of 10 men.
Yep.
And they don't spit and they don't swear and they don't throw garbage on the floor.
That's right.
Leanne can tell you they are the neatest, cleanest,
Yes.
most amazing.
And considerate and
And
gracious.
we were always picking
Yep.
up after everybody else
Yes.
on this job because
Indeed.
that's how it is. And I'm not their mama and I'm not their friend. And I found my voice. I'm able to say to them, like, today we had a little something happen.
No, yeah.
And it's not a big deal, but I pulled everybody together. I said, okay, look, going forward, this is what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I made sure, are you listening to me? Can you hear? This one was kind of straying. I said, no, come back. And I just say it. And that's it. I don't accuse at people. I don't yell at people. You know, a lot of girls, there's very bad reputations of women bosses. Yeah, I can get firm and I can get crazy and I get pissed and so does everybody else. And,
Right.
It's a plant. You must take a breath.
Yeah, right. Take
Put
a
it in
minute.
the wrong place. Okay, we're just going to move it over.
Just move it.
That took a lot of years to get to,
Yeah.
but now I'm the girl boss of everything. My life, my this, my that, my everything.
How does that make you feel?
Skinny, pretty, happy, rich.
But you are all of those things.
And I've always been.
Yes, you are.
But I
all
had
of
somebody
those things.
just holding my head
That's
underwater.
right.
You know what I mean?
It's interesting. I feel like you were meant to be there because you were meant to have these children, right?
Yeah. Well,
and
yeah.
maybe if we have to glass half full,
Yeah.
maybe it was meant to happen so you could be this person.
The only thing I wish, and you're going to laugh really hysterically, I just wish it happened a little sooner and I was a little bit younger because at 52, getting
Yeah.
into your career,
Yeah.
you know, but he and I never had a conversation about retirement,
Mm-hmm.
travel,
Mm-hmm.
planning. If my parents, and this is so personal, my parents had not left me that house. If I had to pay rent, where would I live? What would I do?
Yeah.
He didn't help me,
Yeah.
you know, what the hell would I have done?
Mm-hmm.
So the one thing I had, you know, I always, it was a very abusive relationship. There was a lot of looking back at it now.
Mm-hmm.
Now I see it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you came to me with one of those stories, I'd be like, oh, girl.
But when you're in it, it looks very different.
He did not hit me ever. I want to make that disclaimer.
My mother never hit me.
No, I'm just saying. I want to be very, very clear.
Totally.
Because my children will probably watch this and friends of ours. But I just want to be very clear. That never happened.
Right.
There was nothing, I just didn't see. He's just talented and smart. I never learned what the end game was of doing all of this to someone, trying to get their kids to turn against them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so, I'm feeding these people and taking care of these people and earning and sleeping with him. And I mean, we have a sex life. We have a work life. We have a dynamic. He was really good to my dad. Like it is so, but then to find out, like yesterday when you were in the car with my daughter, you spent 3 hours talking about me in this negative way.
Right.
But then that night we slept together, we ate. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That does a number on you.
It
does
would.
a number on you.
It would. And the thing is, you are not any of that. You are such a straight shooter. You are not someone who says one thing and means another. You don't, as they say, talk out of the side of your neck. You talk straight out of your mouth. And so I am that way too. And then when I find that someone is not that way, I'm so alarmed.
Yeah,
I'm so taken aback because I think, how could you function this way? So it's not that everyone needs to function like me. I just don't have the concept that people function from a place of dishonesty. I don't have that. That is not in my wheelhouse. I would
just like you to imagine that the past 20 years of your life are fake.
Yeah.
They're entirely a lie.
Mm-hmm.
None of it was what you thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was houses bought and lost. So many things went on. So many lies that are huge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like really huge.
Mm-hmm.
I would compare it with someone like not telling you that this did not happen, by the way. I'm just trying to make it on a scale.
Hypothetical.
Imagine that someone's married and has a whole entire other family and you didn't know.
Right.
And that's where they're sending all their money.
Right.
That was a theory.
Yeah.
Could still be the truth. I don't know. I never found out. Right. I stopped at a certain point.
Yeah.
I did private investigator through the divorce. I did this. I did that. At one point, I just said, I'm going to release myself.
Mm-hmm.
He already released me. I'm doing this.
Right.
So at a certain point, I just went, I took a shitty deal. I should have fought for more, but I'm free. It had a price. So, in the Tina Turner movie, when she says, all I want is my name and I'm out. Okay, there I am.
Yeah.
So I never officially changed my name on my driver's license or on anything. So I literally took my name, my children, and went.
Right.
And, that's it.
Right.
And but when I think back, he did a lot of crazy shit that was so mental and it's, whatever. I think some of it.
Do you find yourself more rested now or lighter or I guess the time period of two sick parents, death of neighbor, death of friend, this going on is so heavy. So if you go before that, right? Because that's so heavy. Even if your marriage was perfect, you'd be heavy.
I thought, and their marriage was perfect. But I have to tell you, we were very involved with the school, field trips, science Olympiad, choir, fundraising. I went to that school.
Mm-hmm.
All three of my daughters went to that school.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I told you this the last time, from kindergarten to 8th grade, I was there.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was 26, I came back with my daughter in kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
And Eva just graduated 8th grade. She's only in 11th grade right now.
Right.
So I was pretty much, other than from 8th grade to I was 26,
right,
I was not there.
Right.
And the rest of the time I was there the whole entire time.
Right.
Deep roots in a community.
Mm-hmm.
So my children went there. He went to one of the sister schools in that same community.
Mm-hmm.
We'd both been around forever. The mayors, the cops, we knew everybody.
Right.
And we were like a super couple.
Right.
It was all a fucking lie.
Right.
The whole thing.
Oh,
the whole thing's a lie. People were shocked.
Right.
People were like, what are you talking about? The whole entire thing is his lie.
Right. Not yours. You were never lying.
No, I was never lying.
Yeah.
So I had to figure out which part of it was happy and what's the takeaway.
Yeah. What is the takeaway?
The kids, I guess. I love the kids. I got the kids. For me, it's like I can't even, some of it's so heavy and complicated and mental, and without telling the stories,
Sure.
it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. What's the takeaway for you, just about you? Obviously, you got the kids because you're their mother.
Right.
So
but
what's the takeaway for you?
Well, I guess it's now. It's how it is now. And now how it will be going forward. It was very hard to get here. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, while I was doing your house, I was going through the worst divorce.
Yes, I know.
There's another property that we did. And I kind of became friends with that couple also. And that was really heavy in the mix right there. That was a hot time. That was like a hard time. I couldn't wait to get there, tear their yard apart.
Yeah.
Cut their plants down and put in new ones. And do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the guy was actually, he had a very rough time and some very incredible and sad things that had happened to him. And sometimes we would kind of just be like, it would be funny almost. Because he would say this, then I would say this. We'd look at each other. He'd be like, I'm going back to work. And I'd be like, I'm going back to work. So I find that I spent 20 years not paying attention. And now I really pay attention. I hear your words. I see your daughter's eyes, what's going on, happy or sad. Like if I look at your daughter walks by me, I can see, I don't necessarily mean I mean anybody's.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I was a shitty friend because I wasn't, but the friend and person I am now is, you definitely want to be my friend now, for sure.
Right.
I think that he sucked up all my time and made me so crazy, made me running crazy and everything. So like, you know, he was a sabotager also. Like
he drew your focus.
If we were having a party and I needed hamburger buns and we're serving hamburgers and it's at 6:30, at 6:15, he has not gone to get them for me yet.
Yeah.
But yet he's taken the car key and he's sent me I can't believe I ever fell for that shit even one time.
Right. It does not seem like something you would fall for.
Well, but you're married and you're in it and you're going for the, you know what I mean? And you don't think anything is wrong.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And you're trying to make the kids happy and pull the party off or whatever. I was trying to pull the whole life off, I guess. But now the protective layer, we talked about this the last time. Right after that happened, my body went whoosh. And I can feel it now. If there's any sort of male abuse going on, my right side of my head just kind of tingles and my body just blows up. And it's bloat, it's water, it's just protective. It's a thing.
You know, there's a book called The Body Keeps Score. You know this book?
And let me tell you, yes, she does.
She does,
and
buddy.
It takes about 2 to 3 weeks to go back down. The down is dramatic. I'm like like deflating a balloon. It's completely, you get on the scale, it's barely weight, but your clothes don't fit. Yeah. I'm not gonna say fat, but you're fat, you're bloated, you're
puffed
big.
up like a banty rooster.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so now you're trying to diet and lose weight and you can't and nothing's moving and you know what I mean? So I'm finally now where the protective layer, that's not ever happening again. I just, you know, I went through it again. Not again, but if I feel it happening or someone's talking to me like that, my body just puffs up. So now I just bought a bicycle. That was the other wheels. I bought an adult tricycle.
Oh, nice.
She is also champagne color to match my
Ooh la
truck.
la.
And during the pandemic, everyone bought bikes. So he could not get a bike for me, the guy at the bike shop.
No.
So he finally got it for me. I just got it last weekend.
Congrats.
I jumped on and I realized my daughter is 31 that I've not ridden in her whole lifetime. So I don't even know when. I might have been 15.
Right.
Maybe even 14.
Right.
And I rode a little and I was like, oh, it was like, I can't. Oh God. So then the next day I just jumped on in front of my street and I just rode the corner like that. Whatever. I said 20 minutes, got my heart pumping, got a little sweat going. And now I'm just gonna start riding the bike.
That's awesome.
So I just have time for myself now. My house is organized. My life is organized. I love being in a relationship. It's very sad for me to not be with someone. But right now I just realized how much I like being by myself. Yeah. And how much, you know what I mean?
There's space for both in life and there's a time for everything.
I've never done it.
No.
I've always been with someone.
You know what? I think I think it's very valuable when you're young to have time not in a relationship.
Okay,
and
well,
it's
that
not
was not me.
typical.
That was not me. I had
Yeah.
my first daughter at 21.
Yeah. Super young.
Okay. And then obviously raising her, my second at 33, my third at 36.
Mm-hmm.
Then the parents took the turn, and I just spent years and years and years cooking and cleaning and working and raising and caregivers. And you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And everything that I've gone through since the time that he left till now,
Mm-hmm.
there was a relationship, stuff with my kids, friends, this, that, whatever. Oh my God. Right now, I'm doing everything for me. Last weekend was all about me. Wow. What do you know about that? Because my job it's like service job.
Yeah, it is. It's
For
customer
what
service.
you want, how you want it.
And manual labor.
And I do it. Right. And manual labor.
Yeah.
And shopping and organizing.
Yeah.
And
It's intense.
as I've said a million times before, there are no complaints coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
We're at a high peak right now.
Right.
Loving what we do. We can get stuff done so much faster. We're super efficient. We're good at it. When I just walk through your garden, right? What can I even say?
It's gorgeous.
The flowers?
Yeah, they're amazing.
I don't even.
They're
I can't.
amazing.
There's always a fear like, did the homeowner turn off they turn off the irrigation? I don't know why some of them just do that.
No.
Or did this happen? Oh my God. I just literally was like,
no, that
so
front
now,
yard gives me so much happiness. I love it so much.
It gives me so much happiness too. There's flowers everywhere.
Yeah.
And I remember, she said she wanted that, and look at it. Oh my goodness, look at. So now we're starting to, now that we do all our garden maintenance and go back, we're seeing trees grow.
Yeah.
We're growing. The trees
Yeah.
are growing.
Yeah.
Everything's growing.
Everything's growing.
So last weekend, I bought my bike,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been working on my house.
Mm-hmm.
Had a handyman come.
Mm-hmm.
I also did something very crazy. Are you noticing anything while you're looking at me?
You got your eyes done.
I did a double cataract eye surgery.
Amazing.
That I paid for, by the way.
Yeah.
If you do your insurance, they only do one at a time.
Oh, okay.
And they do it really far apart.
Oh.
And you
Why
have
would you do
vision
that?
like this. So anybody out there, get the triple lens and pay for it, get it done the same day. That would be my advice. So I don't wear glasses anymore.
That's
I can
amazing.
see you. The last time we did this,
yeah,
my glasses were off, but I could not see you.
Oh, how funny.
Or that picture, or that.
Wow.
And now I'm sitting here.
Life changing.
Almost 2020. Almost 2020 vision. Can you believe that?
Well, I don't think that's a coincidence, because where you are in your life today is 2020.
It was funny.
Vision.
I said it was going to be 2020 for 2020. It was like the worst year that year. Just, whatever. Not for me, just for the planet.
Yeah,
it was
but the world, yes.
Colby obviously had that plane crash, and
Yeah.
then it all was downhill, literally downhill from there, I swear.
Yep.
From that day, right in the beginning of the year forward, it was a disaster.
It was a disaster.
I think it was that year. Anyways, now I had a handyman come, and everything that my ex did, in my own house. You're going to laugh hysterically. Right now, my landscape irrigation timer stopped working,
Mm-hmm.
which they do after this. It's been like 7, almost 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's hardwired in. Who hardwires that in? You plug it in.
Because
The timer, the transformer for the lights, and the landscape timer are all hardwired in.
Uh-huh.
So my God, we don't do electric
Right.
like that. This is him. It's so frustrating, so insane. So something's broken, you go to fix. Oh, can't fix it. Blocked again.
Oh,
There
my
I am
God.
one more time. So today the electrician came,
Yep.
and he took it out.
Good.
So I'm going to replace it all. So I've been redoing every little thing that wasn't working or done the way I didn't like it or whatever. So I fixed the fence, put up this other fence, took out this hedge. I mean, it's not major. It's all really minor. But there was like a broken cabinet. There was a thing. So I had a handyman spend a week in my house.
Nice.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And for a Virgo, we lose sleep over that light bulb that's, we can't reach and we
Yep.
can't change.
Yep.
Something needed a new switch. There was a kitchen cabinet a little broken in my house. It's still very beautiful, but there was this stuff.
It's wear and tear.
So in a couple more days, I'll be completely done.
Oh.
So this is what I've been doing. So not only have I been exercising, I've been reading, I've been on a bike, and I rode the bike, and I've ridden the bike more times than I thought I would have in this time that I've had it.
Amazing.
Like, you think you're going to buy it, then you're not going to do it or whatever.
Yeah.
No, I actually jumped on,
Right.
rode and pedaled. I've done that quite a few times now.
That's awesome.
So, and then on the weekend, I drove in my car, drove down the beach with a girlfriend of mine. We had a long walk on the bike path. And you know what I realized? This was the saddest thing. I grew up here
Mm-hmm.
in California. I'm a native.
Mm-hmm.
I never walked on the bike path one time.
What?
Never done it.
Oh my God.
I've never done it. So now we have this whole list of never dones.
Amazing.
And we're doing them.
That's amazing.
I want to eat in that restaurant. I want to go here. So now I'm planning what's going to be the travel and what's going to be.
You're the tourist in your hometown.
Yeah, but I want to go to Italy. I want to go here. I want to go there. I want to go there. I'm doing it all.
You should.
So now I'm working towards making
trip.
my garage into an ADU in the back. And then that's like that's the end game of my house project, because everything else is beautiful. Trying to get that done. And then I don't know, but
But you can make a Post-it note like you did for the Porsche.
Yeah,
stick it up,
manifest it, make it come, and you can do it. You can really do it.
It's very powerful.
It's very powerful, and weirdly enough, the first year was really, really hard. Second year was like trying to find your feet year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you do something and it fails. You do something and it succeeds. You do another thing and it succeeds. Do I want to date? I don't know. Do I want to? I don't know. Everything was, hard and a first. Now we're doing firsts again.
Right.
I'm one of those people. I'm kind of old for first. Like, don't really want to do them first. Me. I'm a Virgo. We could repeat very easily in our comfort zone.
Yep.
In the little box that we made for ourselves. But then the third year is when I really started to just, after I figured the car things out and the taxes thing out and got these major $80,000 of tax debt is no joke.
No, that's a lot.
And I just thought, I'm never getting out from under.
Yeah,
and you know what they told me? They don't necessarily divide it in half, like legally, but they say, okay, you'll pay 40 and you'll pay 40. And here's your little payment coupons and here's how you're going to do it. Whatever that amount is, or you agree to, or whatever, $300 a month or whatever you pay. So if I pay mine and he doesn't pay his becomes mine.
What?
Yeah, it's all your debt while you're married.
Right.
So this is another entire other conversation where I could advise people on how to make sure. So if you sign your tax return, make sure you put in the envelope and it gets mailed.
Right.
Make sure you put the check in it and check your bank account that the payment got made to the IRS.
Right.
Yeah, because that's how I got duped. Can you even imagine?
No.
For years and years and years.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. So these are things that most people think they're never going to get out from under.
But you did.
All of them.
That's so inspiring.
So now, like, oh, it's tax time.
And you're like, give me that check.
That's
Let's
right.
do it.
I did all the 1099s.
Right.
And for the employees, and I got everything done. And I already have my appointment with my girl. And I'm starting to do oh my God, who does that?
I did it always.
No, but I mean, who happily does that?
I know. Well,
I'm so happy to do it.
Happy. Yeah,
Last year I had to pay whatever because I made a little more money than the year before. And I was like, oh my God, I have to pay this much money. I'm so happy. Yeah. Death and taxes. Great. I'm like so happy.
Death and taxes.
No, but now that's where we're at now. So I'm finally feel like I'm coming out the other side.
Right.
I did hear from a couple people it takes 5 years.
I had not heard that.
And on the tail end of everything else, thought it was going to take a little longer. There was a lot of PTSD from my father. There was a lot of PTSD from this, which by the way is a very real thing.
Totally.
I couldn't close my eyes. I couldn't open my eyes. I just kept seeing it over and over, when he died. I just couldn't get past it, around it, function around it. It was horrible. That took a really long time. I also feel like my ex sort of capitalized on that all a little bit when the weak moment I was having. For things to go on, things that went on in that time are the craziest things.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be like a mean bitch and undateable and you know what I'm saying? But I want to be.
Well, it's nice to know if it's supposed to take 5 years that you can relax and just go, I'm just going to take 5 years.
No, I can't believe what I've done.
And if it's 4.5, bonus.
I can't believe what I've done.
It's been monumental.
So I told you that I did a project more expensive than yours, but not bigger.
Right.
It was smaller, but more expensive. But it was a huge, and then there's been other massive ones, of course, and small ones and whatever. This turning the channel to this is where I'm going to go and this is where I want to be and this is what I'm going to do and setting your sights on things and doing it and getting through it and figuring out how you're going to do it and then just doing it. Now it's easy.
Right.
After we did this project?
Yeah.
This project? which was everyone's favorite project.
Of course.
All the guys love this. You also barbecue, by the way.
Yes, I do owe you a barbecue. Well, they just set up the barbecue today.
All the guys we love this project. We love Leanne. Like everyone just loved it. So after you can have what I had going on at the same time, we had your project going on. And while we did your project, we did other projects. This wasn't the only project that we did. No, we had to stop sometimes and wait for the next thing to be finished, the deck, the pool, so we'd go off for 2 weeks, come back. I thought when I was doing my taxes, looking back at what job was what from last year and whatever, I was like, oh my goodness.
You had a good year. It
wasn't even money-wise. It was trees that went in the ground, clients that are happy.
Yeah.
Designs that were done, beautiful things. Your rose garden, epic.
Yeah.
Genius. We did this, we did that. It was good. So now that you're at this point, I'm not going backwards.
No.
And I'm able now to end things that are toxic and not take them forward with me.
Yeah, move on.
Yeah, I wasn't able to do that. So I can do it now.
Nice.
And I feel like I drove here in my Porsche.
I know.
And there was so much traffic, but I was like,
I'm in my Porsche.
It's got this beautiful radio and I can talk on the phone. I never had that in a car before.
No, yeah.
Where I have the, whatever.
Bluetooth, whatever.
So I had an amazing conversation with a friend of mine this whole way over here.
That's so
and there was traffic and I was sort of just cruising, over the curvy road. And I was just like, yeah, okay.
Life is beautiful.
And actually, life is actually beautiful.
Life is beautiful.
So now instead of a pity party, it's turned into a whatever.
Life is beautiful.
Life is beautiful.
Well, you are beautiful.
Thank you. You are beautiful.
And we have to wrap up.
I'm good. I'm glad.
But that was an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for sharing.
I do want to make a little side comment.
Yes.
When I read the comments from our last podcast, you may be used to it already, people, because you've done so many podcasts, 200 already. So you go back, you read the comments.
Yep.
People wrote really amazing things. Someone messaged you that they were literally inspired.
Yep.
I was worried, is it stupid whatever,
No.
People wrote some pretty amazing things that were boosters, that were uplifting.
Yes.
That were like, wow, thanks. Somebody actually wrote there, I'm cool.
You are cool.
Yeah, but you never think you're cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Who's
I
to
do.
I can't say, oh, I'm cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But somebody actually wrote on there that I was cool. And I was like, thank you. So whoever wrote that, thank you. But I was scared to do that last podcast because this isn't my thing.
Yeah.
Be on stage or this or that.
Totally.
So this conversation was a milestone to be able to very publicly, out loud, be able to process and say these things.
Right.
And I do hope it helps someone, and I do hope it inspires someone.
That's what I hope
to take their control and to know
they're not alone. That's
no,
the whole
you are
point,
not alone.
You're not alone. People get divorced and it's not fun, and you're not alone. And I think most unhappiness, not most, but a lot of unhappiness comes from feeling alone.
Yeah.
And if you can just make someone feel like, hey, you're not alone. I see you. I understand you. Then that's just a gift. It's such a gift that you give to the world, is to say, I'm with you and I understand what you're saying. You don't even have to know someone's story if they know yours and can resonate. That's why this platform is so beautiful. I've never thought I would. Bert tried for years to get me to start a podcast. I was like, what am I going to talk about?
Oh my God. And that's so great.
The only thing that I want to talk about is stuff like this, where people can feel like they're part of a group of people who talk about real things, not just like, let's open a bottle of wine and talk about lipstick. I'm not interested in that. I don't talk about that in real life. I mean, but.
On an end note, for me, the first night the girls went to go stay at their father's house. Like I've always had my kids and raised my kids and been with my kids. Where are my kids going to sleep somewhere else?
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, it isn't a sleepover.
Yeah.
I was like manic, panicked.
I bet.
I did not know how to navigate that. One of my girlfriends who went through also a horrible divorce, she said, you don't like it now, but one day you're going to like it. You're going to like being by yourself. Because you can watch, whatever. You could just imagine the possibilities of being by yourself, which I couldn't imagine. And I felt like if I could get over that, I could get over anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was the hard, that day was, a challenge for sure. I was crying, I don't even cry. I was crying and my kids were, oh my God, he's going to take care of you and he's going to feed, whatever. It was so crazy. And after I got through that, it took me years and years and years and years and years. But now I love to be by myself.
Yeah.
And I like doing things for myself.
Because you love yourself.
I go to dinner by myself.
Yeah.
I go walk by myself.
Yeah.
I do it with friends. I have times for friends.
Yeah.
So you have to be very courageous and you have to be brave.
And trust.
But you could do it. Anyone could
Trust
do it. If I could do it,
yeah,
anyone could do it.
you can.
Anyone could.
Yeah.
So that's my end note.
Well, that was a lovely one. Thank you,
Oh my
Lisa.
God, I love you so much.
Thank
that
you.
was good talk.
I love you too. I miss you.
I
saw you all the time, and now I don't see you at all.
You're going to see me all of next week while we cut all the roses and fertilize everything.
I love it.
Yes.
Well, thanks for making the drive.
No problem.
I will give you your Girl Scout cookies. Right? I'll give you your Girl Scout cookies.
I can't wait. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.